All right, let's talk about something huge. We've got this monumental task, right? Feeding billions of people on a planet with, limited resources. For centuries, farming has been all about hard work, tradition, and a whole lot of intuition. But what if we could add a new, incredibly powerful tool into that mix? Today, we're going to dig into how a brand new kind of artificial intelligence is kicking off a revolution right in our farm fields.
So picture this. On one hand, you have the old way of figuring out what's wrong with a plant. It's slow, it's expensive, you got to send samples off to a lab and wait. But on the other hand, what if you could get an instant, accurate diagnosis right then and there, standing in the middle of the field? This image just perfectly captures the leap we're talking about, from this slow traditional process to an intelligent, immediate solution. And it's all powered by AI.
So what's the core problem we're really trying to solve here? Well, it's the insane amount of pressure on every single person who grows our food. They're not just farmers anymore. They have to be resource managers, ecologists, and savvy business owners, all rolled into one.
And the challenge is it's enormous. They have to increase yields to feed more and more people, but do it sustainably. That means using less water, fewer chemicals, all while trying to deal with a climate that's getting more and more unpredictable. Let's be real, traditional methods, as great as they've been, are just struggling to keep up with the scale and speed of all this. Something's got to give.
And that's where this powerful new AI toolkit comes in. Now, when you hear AI, you probably think of chatbots writing essays or something. But the tech we're talking about today, it goes way, way beyond just understanding text.
The key here is this thing called a multimodal large language model. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is actually pretty simple. This AI isn't just reading, it's seeing. It can look at a photo, it can interpret data from a sensor, read a weather report, and then fuse all of that information together to get a really deep, contextual understanding of what's going on. This slide really breaks down the old versus the new. Older AIs, like what are called convolutional neural networks, were specialists. You could train one to be an absolute expert at one thing, like identifying a cat in a photo. But they needed tons of labeled data and couldn't really do anything else. These new multimodal models, they're totally different. They're like general problem solvers. They don't just see pixels, they understand context. They don't just answer, "What is this?" They can answer the much more important question, "What does this mean for my farm?" Honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. Instead of giving a farmer one specific wrench, you're handing them a fully loaded Swiss Army knife. It's this super versatile tool that can adapt to pretty much whatever problem pops up, big or small. Okay, so let's see this Swiss Army knife in action. We're going to look at how this AI can zoom from like a 30,000-foot view of an entire farm all the way down to the tiny little details on a single diseased leaf.
So let's start big picture with a project like Microsoft's FarmVibes.ai. This isn't just looking at one piece of data. It's a fusion. It's pulling in satellite images, drone footage, sensor readings from the ground, weather data, and it mashes it all together into one single comprehensive model of the farm. It basically gives the farmer a kind of superpower, the ability to see these hidden patterns and make calls about efficiency and sustainability that would be totally impossible otherwise.
That big picture view is incredible for managing the whole operation. But what about the small stuff, right? What happens when the threat isn't a drought that's hitting the whole field, but a tiny patch of fungus on one specific plant? And this is where that AI vision really comes into play. I mean, look at these apple leaves. If you're not an expert, some of these diseases might look really similar. Is that black rot or is it scab? Is that cedar rust or just a lack of nutrients? Getting it wrong can mean using the wrong treatment, which wastes money and could even hurt the crop. And here's where the data shows us a really crucial trade-off. So some research compared the new GPT-4o with an older, specialized AI called ResNet 50. The new model, yeah, it's a little more accurate, over 98% correct, but, and this is a big but, look at the cost and the time. It's way more expensive to run, and it takes about 20 times longer for each image. This is a super important point. Even though the new AI is more accurate, the older, faster AI might actually be the more practical choice for some jobs. It all depends on what a farmer needs and what their budget looks like.
But this AI's talent doesn't stop at just seeing and analyzing. It can also act. This quote from some recent research is so key because it shows us the next step. The AI can basically work as a universal translator. It allows a farmer, who's not a robotics expert, to give commands in just plain English, like, hey, send the drone to check Sector 4 for pests. And the system coordinates a whole team of different robots on the ground and in the air to just get it done.
You know, the impact of this technology doesn't just stop at the farm gate.
It is absolutely set to reshape the entire journey our food takes, from the field all the way to our plates.
Industry analysis is showing that these AI models are popping up across the entire food ecosystem. For example, they're optimizing these incredibly complex supply chains to cut down on waste and get food to us faster. They're finding creative ways to use agricultural byproducts, basically turning trash into treasure. In the kitchen, AI is even developing new recipes by analyzing flavor combinations in ways humans just can't. And it's creating personalized nutrition plans and making our food safer. The applications are really changing our entire relationship with food.
So it's pretty clear this technology has world-changing potential. But, and there's always a but, right? It's not a magic bullet. Before we get to this fully automated agricultural future, we have to face a few very real challenges.
Let's ground ourselves with a quick reality check. As we saw, the best models are expensive. Their decision-making can be kind of a black box, which makes it hard to fully trust their conclusions. And that's a huge deal when your livelihood is on the line. And sometimes they just get things weirdly wrong. In one study, an AI kept flagging images of corn and apple leaves because it thought it saw human faces in them. These are the kinds of hurdles we still need to clear.
And all of this brings us to one final thought. We've seen that this AI can be a diagnostician, a logistician, a robot commander, even a chef. So if AI can take on all of these different roles, it leads to a pretty profound question. What does it truly mean to be a farmer in this new era? What becomes the uniquely human contribution to growing the food that sustains us all? That's definitely something to think about.